Hey guys, this is Chris from Deus Ex Machina.
And I'm Dave from Rampant Wolf Games.
See, I made a point of wearing the exact same thing as last time, so people don't think that this was shot 2 months apart from the last few videos.
Yeah.
It was called Christmas, folks. And we are here talking about the top 100 games of all time. How are you doing with that list?
Got it down to 60. Working back from 100, so I've got 40 of it, 40% of it done.
We're still working on the list as we're doing.
Yeah.
I actually went in and I looked at my 80, and then I realized I had more games to add, so it ended up being like 89. I'm thinking, wait a second, I can't. I've already done to 80. I can't go, and I can't redo that number.
Yep.
So I look at my list and go, oh, there's a bunch of games here that my opinions have changed in just the last few months. Since the last time since I compiled this list. These can go, these can go, these can go. So I'm reaching this point of 81 going, and there's one of them on the cutoff point. Like, that has to be in the list. And it got to 82, and then delete something else. And it got to 82, and delete something else. I just constantly shifting things to keep 81s. Because I feel I had to have 81 on the list. Because if it's not on the list, people want to go, where's this title? And I go, it's at 81. That's it. So anyway, I got all of that. Oh, I didn't do that the spacing right, but whatever. We're doing from number 71 to...
No, we're doing from 80 down to...
80 to 71.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Oh, I didn't do that.
All right.
All right.
Cool. So coming in at number 80 for me is actually a collection of games, and just to understand why here in a second. And that is Flux. Anything Flux.
All Flux.
All Flux, pretty much.
I'm going to put money that you... Isn't... I could have sworn Flux was on your last video.
Was it?
Yes. There's a part of me that is absolutely certain that it was near... Oh, I'm not in the internet. That I swear Flux was on that list.
Because I checked my list and it wasn't there.
Yeah? Okay, we'll go on. And if Flux is on the list, I'll have a little smidget of that video up here right now.
So yeah, it's, game changes as you play cards. The rules are pretty easy to follow. It's basically what's on the card. Yeah, that's not much to say. That's Flux.
Yeah, which is weird because I have not played Flux.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where everyone talks about it, and I'm like, no, I haven't played it. My number 80, the numbering here is off. It's a bit off. Is a bit of a spoiler because I just said that I had to keep this on the list out of respect because it's the only mention on the list, and that is Pandemic. The Cure.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
The game's out of print. Good luck finding it. But I said, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's in print or out of print. If it's a game I played, it's good money. And I think that is the best Pandemic game. I know a lot of people say Rising Tide. I know Z Garcia absolutely loves the Portuguese one.
Yeah, but
the one that's
Iberia,
which is in the Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal and Spain. That's a better game than Pandemic. But those are still outside the top 100. Yeah. Supposed to show you that it was actually kind of hard when you get down to 60s and 70s. There are a lot of good games.
Yeah,
it's not like
I was also just more meaning that there is no cure for this pandemic.
Oh yeah. Well, no, there are cures. Just it's the psychology that's really affecting people. I think I won't play Pandemic anymore because I'm just like, oh, this is so depressing.
It really is actually.
Anyway, so that's my choice for number 80, Pandemic, The Cure.
All right.
Also a good band.
Coming in at number 79 is a game that's known by two different names, but it's the same game, and it's both good. And that is Baron Park or Bear Park.
Baron Park being the German, or is it Bear Park the German one? Baron Park is the German.
I think Baron Park's the German one, but that's what I call it, and that's what it says on the box. But then I know there is copies out there that actually say Bear Park on it.
Yeah, for those people who can't handle the translation.
Yeah, that's the same people who couldn't pronounce Cthulhu. So in one game I have, they actually spelled it Cthulhu, CH. So it's Cthulhu.
Fun.
Yeah. And
so Baron Park is that a Tetramino game or not?
Are you talking publisher or the style?
No, style. Like, isn't it a Tetramino game? No.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's basically like Tetris. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a style, and that's what's his name loves. Whose name I can't escape me at the moment.
Nope. Not coming to me. But yeah, you basically Tetris yourself a little park, and then you get little golden bear statues, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's Baron Park.
My number 79 is a game that might go down on this, it might fall off this list in a little bit, but it had a lot of initial love, and I think it's a good game, and I want to give it another couple more plays, but the first time I played it was actually quite fun. That's a game called AQUATICA.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some neat components. Every once in a while, a lot of the games above this list are like variations on a theme. Mm-hmm. The one thing I like about AQUATICA is that there's a lot of unique mechanics in AQUATICA. The idea of shoving these cards behind this spot, and as it moves up, you're activating certain abilities. I think that's really, really neat. Mm-hmm. The theme is pretty thin. I'm not gonna lie. It was like AQUATICA, and you have fish and so forth. They go, yeah, but how do the mechanics translate? And it turns out it's like Aquaman, because it deals with, that's basically what it is. It's a game based around Aquaman. But that's my number 79 choice, AQUATICA.
Cool. So my 78, and it's actually Fallout, the board game. Yes.
We just had a conversation. I don't think I've played Fallout. I heard it's pretty good, though.
It is. I'm just trying to remember if it's the one I'm thinking about. Yes, it is, yeah. It's a lot... It very much reminds me of... Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, where you have this codex you keep going back to, and it changes the story, and you take you do a certain event, and then you take a card and you throw it into the deck of cards, and that then could then come back to later affect your choices and stuff.
But you hate Arkham 3rd Edition.
I don't like the fact that they made it so narrowing down how many players could play, and so diluted. And it's very much a very linear game now. There's not just kind of a, we'll pick some random stuff and then try and save the world. This 3rd edition is trying to tell a story, and I'm just like, okay, fine. So yes, that would be my number 78, Fallout.
My number 78, it might be it can't be. There has to be. I don't know. Maybe it is the only party game on this list. It's a game I actually quite enjoy. It's called Codenames. And I'm thinking about my list here. I'm wondering whether or not there are any other... Nope. That is the only party game on my list. What can be said about Codenames? Do not... Well, actually, at least for me, I cannot play that game when I'm drunk. I get so frustrated at my team. I get so angry when I'm... I'm not an angry drunk. But for some reason, I get irritable playing that game when I'm drunk. So, and I played it twice, and people were just like, I don't think we should play this game with you anymore, Chris. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. I do enjoy the game. As I say, don't play it when you're drunk. I haven't played any of the variations, just base code names, but you can use this as a place marker for all the code name games. But that is my... I haven't played...
I would say no, because Codename Pictures is very different from Codenames.
Yeah?
Codename Pictures is very... it either is simple or completely too hard. It's either... like, 'cause when you're trying to describe a picture, it's very simple to have someone completely screw it up, where they're just like, clown. It's like, well, there's a party hat. It's like, oh, well, yeah. It's a lot harder for someone to come up with a word description for a picture that doesn't describe all the other pictures.
Right.
So that's where Codename Pictures kind of seems to fall apart. So I would say all the Codename word variants, sure. Also, Codename Harry Potter is actually got a campaign-ish style to it as well. So, yeah, I would not say this is a placeholder for all Codenames.
Well, considering I haven't played those, it'll have to be a placeholder for now. Anyway, that's mine for Codenames.
All right, so that takes us now down to 77, I believe, which will be Xenoshift Onslaught.
Should I just copy paste this?
Yeah, you
no,
probably
no.
should.
No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna let it stand. Everyone, just go back 30.
Xenoshift Onslaught.
Which I had on my list earlier. It was somewhere in the high 80s.
Yeah. So deck builder, basically deck builder tower defense.
Yeah, cooperative Dominion offshoot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really enjoy that.
C1 doesn't do that. Doesn't do this anymore. C1 doesn't make small games, do they? Or do they?
No.
Because obviously, right now, as we're recording this, they always have at least one big Kickstarter either coming. It just seems like we just had one of them not too long ago, and now we have this Marvel Zombies right now. And like I said, they love these big box miniature games. It makes them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But outside of a handful of games, I don't see them making these small games anymore. If they came out with Dreadmire or Onslaught now, it would be $300 and it would be all these miniatures, and the mechanics would be a chain. You'd be paying an extra $100 for just the minis. It is a good game.
Yep.
Why not Dreadmire? Isn't Dreadmire a better game?
Don't ruin it.
Oh, see, I also made a point that I don't do duplicates for the same game, which is the reason why. I was telling you how I had to eliminate games that I actually kind of liked, and one of the way I did it was eliminating duplicates, with the exception of one, because the game is so different. It deserves its own spot. Anyway, back to me again, to my 77, which is probably the only version of this. You've already mentioned one of them. It's called Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Oh, okay.
It is probably the number one portable game my wife and I have. I have.
Have you not played One Deck Dungeon?
No.
Oh, you should.
I'm sure it's really good. We have at least 3 Tiny Epic games. Mm-hmm. We don't have mechs. We have the Fantasy one dungeon, and I think we have one more.
You
Kingdom.
don't have the zombies?
No. And the other ones are okay, but the reason why I like Galaxies is that it also has a small footprint on top of being a small game. And, it's one of those games that you can play on an ottoman. You can play it in a small patch. So when we're on vacation, we're in small hotels or in Airbnbs. It's one of the easiest games to push out. So that is that's my 77 Tiny Epic Galaxies. And yes, as a spoiler, you will not find any other Tiny Epic games on this list. That is the only one.
All right.
Let me guess, you haven't mentioned 14 times.
I do.
Okay.
So going in now at 76 is going to be Xenoshift Dreadmire. And that was one.
I feel like that like an old-fashioned sitcom, like, oh dear.
But
I wish
it's just one step better. It's not like a lot of steps better. It's just one step better, but it is a better game.
We were talking about the games having similar, sizes. Like there is one rule, like 2 rule differences, and
yeah, exactly. And
maybe 3. They have weather.
Weather's the one.
And they reduced the difficulty of easy, and they flipped the values on the base troops.
Yeah,
that's all they did. Those are the 3, and obviously new monsters and all that. But.
Yeah, so that's my 76 Xenoshift Dreadmire.
My 76, I'm really surprised it fell in this high, and my wife will be upset with me that it is this high. But as I was adding games I liked, it was like at 50 2 months ago. And as I was adding titles that I had recently remembered, because I realized my list was not up to date, I just saw it get pushed, and it fell. It finally stopped at this point. And that is a Nemesis.
Oh. You know what? The reason it's not on my list is because I haven't played it yet still.
Really? Yeah. I've played it quite a few times. I've actually played it 3, 4, 5 times, which is more than enough to get a good... and the reason why Nemesis kept on falling was because I could not... even though we have fun playing it, I can't give them a pass for the mechanical flaws in the game. The fact that there is way too much randomness. The fact that the game could be easier, but they put in arbitrary rules to make it more difficult. But there's no thematic.
Is this also the game where you encounter a monster one time and it's got X health, you encounter it again in the same hallway or something, or even the same combat and its health changes?
Yeah, so if you attack a creature, does 3 damage, you flip up a card, it has 4. Then you do Oh, sorry. You do 1 damage, it actually has 2 health. You do 2 more damage, you have a card that has 4 health. You do 3 more damage, it has 2 health, and it dies. It's. I know that they do that so you don't know if the creature dies or not.
I think you should pull it once, and that's what his health is. Period.
Yeah, you think that, but that's no. It's always constantly randomized. That's one thing. The getting guns and guns are always empty out of ammo is really counterproductive. It's just like, now we have to hunt around for ammo, and you may never find ammo for your gun. And at that point, I'm just like, this is not fun. Mm-hmm. Then the flaws with the cooperative, semi-co-op format, which it still doesn't seem to work. It works better as a fully co-op. Mm-hmm. At least the game is winnable. Yeah. And then on top of that, they have a campaign that is really good. And then the second to last mission, I don't want to spoil it, but it has a very annoying ending. Mm-hmm. And it further compounds this because that campaign says it's Untold Stories, I think is the name of the campaign, and it gives you 4 story-based missions, and then it says, and then it ends up with a cliffhanger, and then it says Untold Tales Volume 2 coming in Pack 2. So I got Pack 2, and it's not a continuation of that campaign. It's a bunch of completely independent, isolated, semi-co-op variations. So like they had changed their mind. They at some point they threw out the campaign and just decided to focus on semi-co-op, and they produced a semi-co-op comic book, which means you'll never see the resolution of the story unless it's in the new Kickstarter. But by then I was frustrated.
Yeah, I've got Lockdown coming, so maybe we'll see.
I will see. If there's a comic that continues the stories of Untold Stories 1, that will make me angry because it was supposed to be continued in 2. Yeah. So now I have a book of semi-co-op scenarios that I will never use. Yeah. Miniatures are good, though, and there are some elements about the game I really like, and I'm going to, once again, make this stupid... I'm going to get angry about this because I have to make this statement over and over because... It was on the Dice Tower's list because they did their top 100 list around the same time of us recording these, and more than one of them had Nemesis on their list, and they keep on calling it Aliens the Game. It's just Aliens the Game. I know it says this, it's Aliens the Game, and the first thing I see in my review is that it's not Aliens the Game. It's part of that same genre, and if you were a science fiction fan like we are, you would know that Nemesis is not a ripoff of Aliens, it's a ripoff of the movie Pandorum. Yes. Anyway, that is my rant for Nemesis number 76.
Oh, I was just going to try and find a game, but I don't know where it is off the top of my head. But if you want to call something Aliens the Game, it's called Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core, and it's actually an Aliens game, pardon my language.
It's actually, there actually is. I also got the Alien board game, the cooperative Alien board game.
Gale Force 9, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere around here somewhere, but yeah. And it's like one of the actual expansions is Get Away From Her, You Bitch.
That's cool.
Like, it's awesome.
I think 75 went to you then.
All right, 75 is Hero Realms.
Oh.
Not to be confused with Star Realms, but Hero Realms. They took Hero Realms and they made it better. Oh, sorry, they took Star Realms and they made it better. But which is funny because I actually think this one scores lower than Star Realms.
Yeah, because Star Realms for some reason is beloved by a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think it's because Star Realms, like Ascension, Star Realms has a I killed you thing, where Ascension is very passively aggressive.
Yes.
I like that term, passively aggressive in Ascension.
And Hero Realms has the we killed it together, or it has a campaign mode where you're fighting a monster and there's that kind of... So... It is quite interesting, and it's interesting to have a character deck, and it's got a different flavor to it. So that's my 75 Hero Realms.
I don't have any flop of 5 deck builders.
Yeah, no, you don't like them.
And because then that's not true. I do have a couple, but they're not exclusively like that. There's a whole bunch. I mean, there's tons. Mm-hmm. Like Paperback, which I mentioned, is on the list. I think that's the only one. I don't have Ascension. I don't have Star Realms. I don't have Hero Realms. My number 76, I was a little mistake. This is the one my wife is going to be upset is so high.
Yes.
And it is Carcassonne.
That's right.
It's a good game. It's a good game. There's a great video about it that I think I was very happy with. I was very proud that actually is one of the highest viewed videos on the Dice Tower. and I got fired, which was my complete Carcassonne video. And because my wife has almost all of them. She has way more than most people should. And I played maybe only 25% of them. She's played most of them. It's a good game, but it's a little simple. It's like place a tile, get points, and that's it. It's a good game, but it's slowly falling. It's never going to go off 100. There's always going to be a space for Carcassonne, but unfortunately at this point in time, it's sitting at 75. So that's my 75.
So my 74 comes in as another video game entry that was done pretty well, and that is Doom the board game.
Doom?
Doom.
I'm almost positive you did mention this one.
Nope. So that's Doom the board game. Doom is in, I believe, my other list, but Doom the board game.
Doom the board game.
Yes. And I know it doesn't because the ones that I mentioned before are highlighted in yellow. Ha 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 ha.
Okay.
Yeah. So Doom the board game, it pretty much is your standard.
Because we were just talking about bad video game adaptations. Because
Yes,
we were just talking about Bloodborne before the video was recorded, and you were talking about the fact that it's a lot of game physically, but not a lot of game mechanically.
Yeah, it really isn't. And actually, it does. It has a lot of mechanics, but they're just bad mechanics.
Yeah, but you like Doom, and you've mentioned Fallout just on this one video.
Yep,
that's irony.
It is. But those, like I said, that's why the board games that are from video games, but these ones were done right.
How?
Yes.
Well, how? Like, why is Doom? I've seen Fallout, but I've not.
Because Doom is literally it's your one versus many dungeon crawlers. So basically, your one person is playing the forces of hell or whatever they want to call it. You know,
you would think it'd be the other way around. One guy plays Doom guy. Mm-hmm. And then everyone plays demons that are trying to kill him.
No, you're playing the squad. So it's literally like, the Rock, John Dwayne movie.
No, it wouldn't be the Rock. It would be Judge Dredd, Carl Urban. Yeah, he would be the guy that would be.
Yeah.
No, it's like so it's a squad. It's a bunch of people, including the Rock. Before the Rock got even more pumped than he is now.
That's right. So that's my number 74, Doom the board game.
Number 74 for me. I've played this game a couple times. I can't remember if I've won both times or I've won once. I do believe I've lost once. Or maybe I've lost twice. I'm not sure. But I like the game visually, and I like a lot of things about the game. I have this funny feeling this game will go off the list eventually rather than going up. And that's Everdell.
Oh, I did not like that game.
There's a lot of things about the game I like.
It's too busy.
I don't have a problem with being busy. If there's anything, I think it despite its length, I think it moves too fast. But I also know the fact that once you know how to play the game, it's like you play the game, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have this. How am I going to get a 9-card tableau? And then by the end of the game, you're like, how am I going to play these cards to form a tableau? Which is I think fascinating. But I still think that it still moves a little fast, and there's a lot of game for that, because the entire game is basically on the cards, and then you have a bunch of spaces where you can do actions. It's a worker placement game, but then they're famous because they have that triple layered tree, which in my case we've permanently built it. It's on a display shelf because we have room for it, alongside 3 or 4 other pre-built cardboard things we just don't want to bother taking apart. But that is, I think my wife likes it more than I do. That is my number 74. Everdell.
All right, coming in at number 73. You don't go against the family.
Godfather?
That's right.
Really?
Godfather Corleone's Empire.
I'll give you credit for being original.
All right, so this one was actually really good when we played it. It's sad that it's this far down the list, but them's the breaks.
What is it? I know it's based on The Godfather, but how does it work?
It basically is worker placement and hidden inventory. The inventory is kind of funny. You got a little metal briefcase you put your money in and stuff, and basically, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
can you do a drive-by shooting off of another worker? As a worker?
Yes, you can.
As a worker here,
I'm pretty sure you can do a hit on another. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. I remember when we played it, I was like, great, Godfather. I'll see how this goes. And we played the game, I'm like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Does it have artwork, like illustrations based on the movie, or is it just trying to be its own thing?
It's its own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Like because all the new Dune games are all using the new Dune.
Yeah, it's actually, where is it? It's right in this area here somewhere.
There it is.
Yep, there we go.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yep. So that's mine. 73, The Godfather, Corleone's Empire.
Cool. Would not have thought that one. 73 for me is not the only solo game. I think it's only one of 2 solo games on here. I like this a lot. It was a game I kickstarted called Deep Space D6. It's one of the best solo games.
Is this Deep Space D6 Armada?
No, although
that came out recently.
I have that. And oh dear,
not good.
No, it's not. It's not that. I don't know yet. But right when we were unboxing it, it looks like there were some misprints. Like there are these really nice full metal ships that are painted on both sides, and one side shows the ship intact, and the other side shows the ship breaking up, and the red ship has it broken up on both sides.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. And then I went to the comments, and there is already an errata to try to clarify, because there are so many, like there are some really broken mechanics in the game.
Oof.
And I was just like, wow, it's too bad too, because Deep Space D6, which is on this list, is such a tight game. There are ways to, in my review, I talk about variations on that game, that you can play it with potentially more than one player, because it's designed to solo. But like Onirim and a bunch of other games, I think there is a 2-player mode hiding in there.
Yeah.
I think there could be potentially a team mode with multiple ships. I hope to play Armada eventually, but like I said, there's a part of me, once I saw all the negative comments talking about all the things that are wrong with the game, I was just like, I'm going to hold off until I'm ready to tackle it.
Cowboy Bebop did? You looked at all the negative comments and you canceled it from you trying to play it?
Long story. I love Cowboy Bebop. Anyway, Deep Space D6, I think it's a good game. It's relatively inexpensive, but yeah, that's my number 73.
All right, coming in at 72 is Horrified. I really wanted to have the American one to like compare the two, because it's a Target only exclusive.
Oh,
and it's the American monsters, like the Frank. Is it Frankenstein?
Frankenstein, Dracula.
I think so.
What's in the other version? Then I thought there was only one version.
No, there's 2 versions.
I thought I knew Target had the U.S. exclusive rights, but I thought you could. That's why when you go to Board Game Bliss,
there's 2 entries. There's 2 different games.
Yeah, but no, I only saw the one entry saying Canadian customers only.
Yeah.
Because you can't. They're literally not allowed to sell it to America. You have to go to Target to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really wanted to try it.
I had no idea that there were 2 different versions.
Yeah, there is 2 different versions, and now I'm just trying to remember where would it have been. There it is. So this one, which has Dracula, Swamp Thing, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Mummy. I'm not sure who this guy is. Can't remember.
And is this the U.S. version, or is this the?
No, this is the international version. But they actually have different monsters for the U.S. version. Like they're 2 different games. This one was put out at a different time than the other one. It was almost like it was a sequel.
I did not know that.
And so yeah, I really wanted to see the other monsters, because it's actually a really good game. It's really sad that it's this far down the list.
Never played it. Shows you my weakness, because I know, because it's at Target, it's a game you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
And because it's popular at Target, it's popular at every game store in Canada.
Yeah.
Everybody has it.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw it at Walmart.
Really? I'll have to check it out, because there is a difference in the monsters, and apparently the powers are different as well. So to me, it was just like, oh, this is a really good game. Oh, I also want that one. So
I love the fact that America gets the exclusive American edition. Usually, whenever something mass produced, they reserve the limited editions for like Germany or Canada. Like my second
Carcassonne Star Wars.
Yes, you can't get that anywhere outside of Europe.
Yeah, I know.
You know how hard it was for me? I was trying to get that. I still can't get it.
Yep. Board Game Bliss had it at one point.
Yeah.
Bosco, get some more copies.
Who?
That's the owner of Board Game Bliss, Bosco.
I put a kid through college and I don't know. Anyway, my 72 is throughout all the games here that I have sprinkled games that people are going to go, huh? Because I like spicing things up, and I think, and that's one thing I appreciate with some people's top 100. And there's a game that just jumps out, and you're like, "Why is this on the list? It's not in the top 100 on Board Game Geek." I go, "No, it's not," but I love it. It's a game called Space Gate Odyssey.
Nope.
See, exactly. So Space Gate Odyssey is similar to games like Among the Stars, where you're building a space station. But with this, that is one tiny element of the game. And what you're doing is you're building stations, and that station, and then you also have workers that you're moving around, right? And then there are workers, and they're all little plastic meeples, but then one of them is going to be a engineer meeple, and he's in a power suit, and that is expressed in the game with a little plastic shell you put the little plastic meeple into. So it's a slightly larger meeple, but you literally put the effort of putting that little meeple into a bigger meeple. I think it's awesome, and the robot looks like a TARDIS. And then, so you're moving them around, and then if you put down the right cards and so forth, that's not even the whole game, because you're supposed to eventually move them to an airlock, and then send them down to the planet, because that's actually the story. You're sending them down to planets. Yeah. And there's like a random number of planets. There's like 8 or 9. You only put out like 5 or 6. You put out 3 at the beginning, and then you add 2 or 3 more later. And every single planet has a completely different way of scoring points. Like how you place them, how you place the guys down is a completely different way. And it's like very different. I love the mechanic, the idea that every one of these planets has a completely unique way of scoring points for how you place the meeples on it. So it has these it's got a very cool tri-tiered stand to hold all of the meeples, all of the cards, all the tiles that fit in the box. So we pull open the box, lets this whole thing off, and you're good to go. But yeah, shockingly good components. I really like the mechanics. If you like Among the Stars, or if you like a game where you get to build a base, this is that, plus plastic meeples, and really neat planetary point salads. So much so that I think that's a mechanic that we don't see that often, where the way you score points can completely change depending on what part of the game you're on, or the game you're playing.
Yep. Right?
So that is my number 72, Space Gate Odyssey.
All right. Coming in at number 71.
No, we're supposed to do...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, as I was saying, coming in at 71, Jamaica. Now, of course, this could be Jamaica the Crew or just Jamaica, but whatever. Jamaica the Crew does make the game more interesting, but... So, pirate racing game, that really pretty much sums it up. It's a pirate racing game. There's not really much else to say other than this one is a really hard one where if you get behind, you're screwed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a game that the moment you're in the lead, it's for some reason really hard for anyone to catch up. And that's the reason why it's not on my top 100, because it has that one flaw.
Yeah.
Is that once you're in the lead, the game's over almost.
Yep.
I don't know whether or not the expansion cured it, but...
I don't think it did, but I could be wrong.
Talking about a game that could potentially... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, that's it.
Well, talking about a game that actually got broken by a mechanic from the expansion. So this is the core game, not the expansion. This is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's actually a bunch of Harry Potter games on the market. And one of the first ones was one that you could buy anywhere, because you can literally buy it at Chapters. And we bought it for like $50 because it was mass-produced for Chapters.
This is the one with the carpet that you unfold and stuff, and it has the... Right?
Nope.
Not this.
It's a deck builder. It's a very traditional cooperative deck builder.
This one.
Nope.
Well, that's got the exact same name.
Oh.
Defense Against the Dark Arts, although is added to it.
Maybe Battle of Hogwarts, and instead of Hogwarts Battle, I think it was called Battle of Hogwarts.
Because this one literally has...
Yeah.
The carpet.
Yeah, nope, it's not that one. It is either Battle for Hogwarts or what have you. It is the deck builder. Right? It's a much bigger box. The reason why I like it...
Is this the one that has the years that you go through?
Yes.
Oh, God, this one, yeah.
It has seven different games.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you are going through the movies.
But you reset every year.
True, but the one thing I do like is the fact that they replace your characters with better ones, and then they slowly add in more mechanics. So the first game is like 10 minutes, it's over. But then they get more complicated and more complicated and more complicated, and then you get to the last one, and it's throwing everything at you, and it's a fun game. It's a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of mitigation. You get to really throw all your, put the screws to it, and it's a fun game. The Monsters expansion breaks the game. Mm-hmm. Because one thing about these 7 games is that they all got increasingly more difficult. Mm-hmm. But the last game was really difficult, but not impossible. They looked at it and said, that's way too easy. And they added more mechanics, which I thought the game didn't need anymore. It was really complex enough. Mm-hmm. And they added more mechanics that made the game unbelievably difficult. We have yet to win one of those. Even though we didn't lose any of the other previous. So I'm not going to talk about that. Harry Potter, Battle for Hogwarts, not Hogwarts Battle, Battle for Hogwarts. I don't know why the names are so similar, but it's the deck building, much bigger box version.
Mm-hmm. It's over there somewhere. It's right there.
Hogwarts Battle, see? Yeah. It's the same name. I'm not wrong. Yeah, see? Hogwarts Battle. I'm not sure why they have two
Hogwarts Battle, Defense Against the Dark. This is a 2-player game, and this is a 2 to 4-player game.
So is that an expansion or is that a side game? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the one I'm talking about, the Hogwarts Battle. But not the Blue Box Monsters expansion. I do not like that one. So that's my 71 Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Anyway, I'm Chris.
I'm Dave. And remember, the rules are just a suggestion.
Play the game the way you want to play it.